Hi and welcome to the Creative Treehouse. My name is Robin Broom and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I am so glad you joined me in the treehouse today. I love fall. I don't know about you, but I love fall. And I'm so excited about some of the new products that are out now. And this is a card that I made with the Amber Autumn bundle. And I really wanted to use this particular die. And let me show you the die. I just love the intricate leaves, so I thought, how could I make it look really, really cool? If you just cut it out like this, like I did with the basic beige, it is cool, but I wanted it to be even cooler. So what I did, and we will walk through all of the card, and you can find more information about the card on my blog, which is creativetreehouse.blog. And so to make it all of those colors, what I did was I took a piece of the basic beige. I'll make sure I get the right one. And I cut it just 1/8 of an inch smaller than my card base. And then I took a piece of scratch paper and got my blending brushes out, and I used pretty much 3-ish colors, and I just made a bunch of blobs. All right, creative blobs. So this is the crushed curry, and I'm just gonna kind of make little circles. I need to go back and make it fairly dark. So, and they're gonna overlap each other, and we're gonna have at least 3 colors, maybe 4. So we're just gonna blob it like so. And yeah, you want it dark. If it's not dark, it doesn't look as authentic. And let's see, because the colors in nature can be very, very vibrant, and that's the fun about fall, is when those colors are that vibrant. All right, let's move to some cherry cobbler. Okay. And again, it doesn't matter. I'm not going off like I would normally to start off the page, and so I'm not worried about those circles and things, because it's all going to blend and you're not going to see them. All right, I think I'm going to go to, we'll do green, and then I'm probably going to go back and do a little bit of Cajun Craze. Okay, this is Mossy Meadow. Again, I'm just going to do it, and wherever it actually touches another one, it's going to possibly turn kind of a brown color, but there's definitely brown in the leaves. So let's see. All right, now I'm going to go back and touch up with a little bit of Cajun Craze. All right. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So that it's just all, make sure I don't have any places that look too light. We don't want it to look white. All right, I think there's possibly some yellow in here that needs to be a little darker. I hesitate to go back with the yellow since it's lighter, and I don't want to get it all over my blending brush, but let's see with the other colors. All right, and then I think I'm going to go darken. Well, let me see if I can get a little bit more in here. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. All right, that's pretty much what we are looking for. All right, so it kind of looks like a mess, but once you put it on there and run it through the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine, you end up, actually that looks kind of cool, truly, and you'll end up with something that looks like this. Let me put the white kind of behind it so you can see a little bit better. So that is what it's going to come out looking like. And this one might be a little bit lighter than I had done with this one. I think this one's probably just a touch darker. So I don't know, maybe it's about the same. Anyway, that is what you're going to come out with. So then the next step on the card would be to take this piece, and we are going to take we're going to use one of the textured notes dies and cut out a mat. So if you cut it out at the regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, you use that one die, it will cut out a frame. Now it's not exactly, it's a little bit skinnier on the sides than it is on the top, but nobody's going to notice. It looks just lovely like that. And let me grab my base and I'll show you. So that looks pretty cool, right? But I wanted to step it up a notch, and I thought, why not emboss this piece? And so you can emboss it. I used the birch tree 3D, I believe it is, and that is what that looks like, and that's pretty cool. And then I said, okay, let's kick it up one more notch, and I'm going to ink up the inside of the folder, and if you ink up with Early Espresso on the non-Stampin' Up! Logo side, then you end up with that. That's even cooler, I think. So now we'll just adhere this together. And actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I am going to go and I think this was the example of the lighter piece, and so I'm going to go ahead and die cut this one and see which one we like better. See if this one is actually darker and more vibrant than that one. All right, let's look and compare and see if there's a difference or not. Ooh, I don't know. They're about the same. So there was the original one, and then this is the one that we just did. Let's see. Wow, I don't know. I think I like this one better. Let me look at it one more time. They're very similar. Oh, but I think there's more colors in the second one. So we're going to go with the second one. Let me make sure I popped out all my little extra bits. Okay. And then we are going to just glue it down. And I'll just use some Tombow liquid glue, and I'll just go all the way around the edges, and then I'll just highlight a couple pieces of the bigger pieces in here and just do a few of those. Because it's going to be set back a little bit, it doesn't matter if it is completely glued down as far as the inside goes. And I think I got several of those, so that of the bigger pieces. That should be good. All right, I think I'm going to turn it this way. There we go. And that's the reason that we cut it just a little bit smaller. This basic beige piece is because we want to be sure to have enough room, and then we can put our frame on. I think that's a dark piece, so I'm going to flip my frame this way. Extra dark. Okay. We'll do the exact same thing with our frame and put our frame on. And I just love those colors. All right, make sure I got the dark one. Yep, okay. I think fall colors are just yummy. All right, even though it's really funny, a lot of you know I am not an orange fan, but if you have oranges mixed with other things, I think it's fine. All right, so there is that. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is, what I did was I took and there's actually two we could choose from. From the sentiments on there, I got one of the stylish shape circles, and thanks works really well. And as does the other one, if I can find where I hid it. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, not finding it right now. But anyway, so we'll put it right here, and we're going to put our, I stamped the leaves and acorns and colored that. And when I colored it, it looked like this. And so we can put that on there. I have to decide exactly which way to do it. But anyway, it'll be something like that. Another thing that I did was I took this and I rolled it through the early espresso so that it almost has its own little border. If you really put a border on it, it's too much and it covers up too many of those leaves, I thought. So, and then we're really, really close to being done. I've used Wink Stella and some embellishments and some dimensionals to finish it all off. I'm still looking to see if I can find out where I put my other little circle, because I think I like that one the best. So, and no, it does not want to appear. So what we'll do, and thanks is fine. I think the other one worked out a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and do the inside, and then we're going to come back to the front. And the inside, I'm just going to use a piece of the basic beige and a piece of the early espresso. Put those together. And then we need to kind of tie in the front to the back. And to do that, there is another die in the Amber Autumn bundle, and it has an oak leaf. And so I have done the same little process that we did with this, and on another piece of basic white, basic beige, and came out with, there's the little die, the oak leaf die, and I've cut out a few of the leaves. And if you, it cuts out the veins on the inside, but I also kind of think it looks cool with them still in there. So you can definitely put them back in there if you want. So, and what I will do is I will just put it, my little vein is kind of stuck halfway in and halfway out. There we go. So you can put one leaf like that. You can put the vein back in the leaf, like so. It's sticking to my gluey fingers, or you can do the 2 leaves or 1 leaf, and then it just depends on where you your colors at whatever. You do want your colors to be kind of tight when you make those little splotches, otherwise you end up with almost the same color, and I think it looks better to have more colors. So in fact, I think these 2 are probably my favorite leaves. Then we just have to decide whether I want to include the veins or not. And on my other card, I did one with and one without. So, which is also a possibility. Just kind of change it up. I like it both ways. I think on this card, I'm going to do it that way. With no veins. We'll say deveined. So I'll put some glue on this, on the leaves. And you can also use the adhesive sheets as well, because sometimes gluing on little teeny tiny things is difficult I will also put my Tombow liquid glue in a little container with a fine tip on it. And that works out really well for small things. So that looks cool. I like that. All right, and now, like I said, we're going to go, one thing that I did was I added some Wink Stella, okay, which is just always fun to use. And so I will just do like so, a little bit on the acorns and a little bit on the leaves. I feel like I need more color on that leaf. Let me see if I can just add just a touch more color. Is this the light? Okay, and then what I will do also is you might enjoy seeing how I colored all of that. If that's the case, go to, is this the dark Calypso Coral? Yep, okay. If that's the case, at the end of this video, I will continue and we'll do a little kind of some coloring so that you can, in case that's something that you would be interested in. So I'll show you how I colored all of it. Okay, I like that better. And now that I've got that on there, we will do some Winkostella. Winkostella. Oh, that just makes it look so pretty. Let's see. This is dried enough for me to put it over there. Okay, and all right. Oh, looks so good. So good. Okay, I'm gonna look one more time for that silly circle. Oh, that's got a different sentiment. Let me just see if it's stuck somewhere. Okay, looking. Not finding it. Oh wait, I found it. It was under the markers. I found it. Okay. And it is this one. You're Simply the Best. I think it gives a little bit more room for the acorns. So I have to decide between that one or that one. I like them both. Well, since we did the other one, this one, I think we could change it up. The only thing I don't like about it is how the circle's kind of hanging out there, but we could trim that. What are some other options? Let's see. Oh, that looks kind of good. That's so hard to decide. Okay, I'm going with that. We're gonna go with this, and I'm gonna just see what would happen if I trimmed the circle so that you don't see the circle behind there. Let's see if my snips are available. And I am going to do that. I am going to just reach in here and I'm going to just take a little... Ah, yes, I like that. Oh, good call, good call. Okay, so now we'll put the glue on. Yes, that extra circle was going to really bother me. Ooh, I'm glad that turned out. Okay, and now I'll add dimensionals to the back. Let's see. And then we will need to add some gems, and we will be finished unless you want to see any of the coloring. All right, we just applied a lot of dimensionals. Pull the backs off. And let's look at that. All right, I don't want my leaf to go over the edge, otherwise it won't fit into my envelope. Pull this down just a bit so that my sentiment is even. Aha, that's looking great. All right, now for the dots, let's see, there were a few of these, and when we did it the other night on my live, we mixed it up. We did different colors of gems. We might do that again. Okay, this is a retired one. Oh, I don't know, there's the other one that I like too. Lots of choices. If you come watch any of the lives, you will see us, I give lots of choices of colors, and so together we put the card. We make the card together. And that one is nice as well. This one is the adhesive back textured dots. Wow, that is really tough. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna, oops. I need to get my take your pick tool. Let's see. Oh yes, I do like that. All right. And we'll do 3 of them, because sets of 3 are always more visually appealing. Or actually, odd numbers are. So there it is. That is it. Love, love, love it. I hope you love it. There's the inside. And that is all for right now on this card. And if you want to bow out now, that is fine. Just be sure that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. I have 4,000, little over 4,000 subscribers, and I'm going to have a party, a 4,000 subscriber party coming up. So be on the lookout for that. And you can also, don't forget to go check out my blog, creativetreehouse.blog, and if you want to stay for the coloring, hang on and we will do some coloring. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. All right, let's see who stayed for the coloring. Don't forget to leave a comment and let me know. I'd love to know that you stayed and watched the coloring. Okay, so this is it. A pretty plain and simple. I just did it in the Memento, Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And let's see. Let's start with the Acorns. And I'm going to start with, this is just the light, Daffodil Delight. And I'm just going to streak. You don't want to, on these lines, you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, on the black lines, on the Memento ink, because even though that's water-based and this is alcohol, it will smear. So you don't want to spend a lot of time on it and going across it. So, and there's a lot of Memento in here, especially in all of those sections. So I just did a light of the light Daffodil Delight. Let's do a little bit of the darker. I don't typically use the brush end. I typically use the bullet end, the bullet tip. I just feel like I've got a little bit more, what's the word? I have a little bit more, I don't know, my brain. A little more accuracy. That's not the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, and so what I've done is I pretty much copied some of the lines that were already on there in the black. And I think that looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to do something that's a little bit strange. I'm going to go with the light Calypso Coral. And you'd say, how come there's no pink in there? So, but bear with me and maybe you'll see it kind of come together. I'm going to go back one more time with a darker yellow again. Okay, and then probably go across the whole thing. Every time I do this, I do it just slightly differently. It's not, there's not a right or a wrong way necessarily. All right, I'm going to do pecan pie. Pecan pie. And now I'm going to really go over all those lines. I'm going to make another one. I'm going to kind of make a shadow underneath where the cap is, the acorn cap. And like so. All right, is it looking a little bit like an acorn? All right, now I'm going to go with the dark one, the dark of the pecan pie. And just the edges this time, just the edges. And under the cap. Okay, let's go back with pecan pie light and go in just a little bit. Right, and then I think I'm going to try the crumb cake. Let's go with light crumb cake. Let's see what we got. Okay, and one more time, one more on the dark. All right, so there we go. Now let's work on, I'm going to get the crumb cake again, and light crumb cake, and I'm going to work on the caps. And there's a lot of black here, so I'm just going to kind of dot it. All right, I'm just going to dot it around. I don't want to just really draw across it because it could potentially smear. It kind of blurs, I guess is really what it does. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit on the stem, like that. Okay. All right, let's add a little bit of yellow to it. I'm going to dot some yellow in there. This is the lighter of the ones. And yes, it's going to be weird, but I'm going to take the pink again, the light Calypso Coral, and I'm going to do some dots of that. around. And I'm going to do more dots right on the edges, the bottoms and the sides, like that. And let's go with the dark crumb cake. And we're going to work on edges again, like so. And this edge, that bottom edge, and you can tell that there's the stamp itself had a lot on that edge, and there should be some here too because this acorn is on top of that acorn. Okay, and then let's give it a line across. Kind of went out of the line, didn't I? Okay. And then something that I think really helps, and I know I'm a little bit sad that the Stampin' Write markers are going away, because I really like to, now watch what happens if I draw that. Do you see the difference between that one and that one? It's pretty huge. Okay, and then I'm going to just go like that. So kind of just outlining it. Of course it shows up where I went out of the line. Okay, and I'm also going to use it and add a little bit, go over some of these lines right like that. Okay, so that's kind of, let me go with the light crumb cake again. So that's kind of what we're going to do. So there are those, and then let me give you just a little sample of the leaves. And you can decide whether you want your leaf to be mostly yellow and green, or you want it to be real, maybe cherry cobbler, whatever. And this one I will stand out a little bit more from the others if it is more yellow and green or whatever. Okay. And then I'll just take the darker yellow, and I'm going to come out from the center vein a little bit. Actually, I think this whole thing back there. All right, let's get really wild and crazy and do a dark calypso coral. And so we'll make the whole bottom of the leaf be calypso coral. Okay, and then I'm going to take the lighter calypso coral. That is what that was. Yep, okay. I was afraid I maybe had grabbed my Cajun Craze instead, but that's right. All right, and then I'm going to blend it out with the lighter, like so. And then I think what we'll do, let's add a little bit of green to it. We'll start with a light old olive. And just mix in some green. So, because I always think that the leaves are in the process of turning, so you might have ones that still have a little bit of green on it, and some of them have more yellow, just different. So, love the leaves that are all different colors. All right, let's go back with a darker yellow. Blend in a little here, and then the light yellow maybe on the tip. And every time I do it, it's different. Every time. So that's kind of fun. And I love to color. I think it's just so therapeutic. Love, love, love. All right, and then let's go with some pecan pie. Let's do the light pecan pie. And let's give it a little bit, we need some shadows and things. So we're going to use some of the pecan pie to kind of go around the, like that. We can also use our pecan pie Stampin' Write marker. And yep, I got a little carried away. So yeah, so that is kind of the deal there. So it's just fun, just practice, just play with it, just enjoy it. All right, that was Old Olive, the light Old Olive. And then let's add, I'm going to add just a teeny bit of the pink to it. like that. And then we'll go with light crumb cake. So, and then a little bit of the pecan pie, and I'm going to put it down really low where there would be a shadow, and maybe on the side, kind of like that. I think we need some pecan pie on here. So anyway, I just play with it and just have a good time. I'm going to dot some pecan pie here and here and along there and along here. Okay. So anyway, that's a little bit of the coloring. I could keep on going, and then the Wink of Stella helps, and if I had not gone so quickly, it would also help too. Then I would not have blurred. But now you get to see what it looks like when it does blur and you do go out of the line. So, but anyway, so have fun with it, and thanks for watching some of the coloring. Anyway, so here's those leaves, these leaves. And there again is our finished product. So I really, really like it. I hope you do too. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. That's always fun on my lives. We are filling out a United States map. And of all the people, when you're watching from a particular state, if you're the first person, you get to pick out the color for that state. And what we're going to do, usually my lives are on Thursday, but on Wednesday, the 17th, we're going to have a live, and that's going to be the party that I was talking about. And it is going to be a party for the 4,000 subscribers and also a birthday bash. And so there are some states that we have not gotten colored in yet. So perhaps you're in one of those states. Check it out, look everywhere, find out. I'll have lists and things, and then we'll just see if we can get a whole bunch of people, especially new people from those states, to come in, and we'll just celebrate, and there'll be prizes, and it'll be a lot of fun. So check that out, and I'll see you next time. All right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.